chosen one. God has written your name into a blessing so massive the world will call it unbelievable, but heaven calls it guaranteed. Stop everything right now, because what you are hearing is not random, and it is not recycled. This moment was scheduled before you were born. There is a vault in the spiritual realm that has been sealed for centuries, guarded by divine timing, and it just cracked open. The sound echoed through eternity, and angels recognized the signal. Your name was the key that broke the lock. Heaven did not open this vault because of trends, pressure, or human effort. It opened because your season aligned with God's calendar. You were summoned here, not invited, summoned. This message found you because heaven pulled you into alignment with what is being released right now. I know your story isn't pretty. I know about the nights you couldn't sleep because numbers kept replaying in your head. Bills, deadlines, threats. I know how it feels when money runs out before the month does. I know the humiliation of standing at a counter, hoping the card goes through, praying no one is watching. I know the ache of family members who smiled politely when you said God had a plan, but rolled their eyes when you turned away. Friends who stopped calling when your life stopped producing results. People who only respected you when things were going well. You've been through loss, embarrassment, rejection, and quiet despair. And yet, through all of it, you're still breathing. That alone is proof this story is not over. Listen closely now, because this is the part heaven emphasized. God spoke your name in a way that shook the foundations of the unseen realm and said, "This one is mine. I will not let them die empty, not empty of purpose, not empty of impact, not empty of reward. Everything you endured was watched. Every tear was recorded. Every prayer you whispered when no one else believed was heard. The pressure you felt was not life crushing you. It was destiny forming you. That sensation you feel in your chest right now, that sudden alertness, that quiet fire waking up inside you, that is not emotion. That is confirmation. Coincidence doesn't carry weight like this. This is alignment. While the world was counting you out, God was counting you in. While people buried your dreams with comments like, "Be realistic," and "Act your age," God was planting seeds beneath the soil of your disappointment. They thought it was over, but heaven knew it was underground. You were not delayed, you were developing. You were not forgotten, you were hidden. While you were begging for scraps, heaven was preparing a table. While you were surviving, God was strategizing. What you thought was loss was actually positioning. What looked like humiliation was insulation. God was protecting what He was building in you from being exposed too early. This is not about money alone, and it never was. This is about divine vindication. This is about God stepping into your story so loudly that the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge His hand on your life. The pain was preparation, the delay was design, the silence was strategy. Your story had to break you down before it could build you into something strong enough to carry what is coming. Heaven does not release weighty blessings into fragile containers. Everything that tried to crush you actually reinforced you. Every disappointment stretched your capacity. Every setback deepened your roots. Scripture says it is God who gives the power to produce wealth. Not luck, not inheritance, not connections, power. That means ability, insight, strategy, endurance, and timing. What God is releasing over your life is not shallow abundance. It is purpose-driven provision. This is not about hoarding resources, it is about stewarding influence. This is not about comfort, it is about capacity. Look at Joseph. When God lifted him, it was not just to reward his patience. His elevation fed nations. His abundance preserved generations. That is the pattern. God blesses His chosen so the blessing can move through them, not stop with them. Wealth in God's economy is not a stagnant pool. It is a river. Wells dry up. Rivers flow. Most people settle for small breakthroughs because they are afraid of responsibility. But God is giving you access to something deeper, something ancient, something connected to his throne. You have been living through drought on the surface, while abundance rushed beneath your feet. Every tear you cried over unpaid bills, every prayer you whispered in desperation, those were the sounds of divine drilling. Resistance had to be broken before release could happen. What belongs to you was never lost. It was waiting for the right moment to emerge. Right now, heaven is moving pieces you cannot see. Conversations are being stirred. Doors are being unlocked. Opportunities are aligning with precision. The enemy thought he succeeded when he delayed you. He celebrated when you fell. He assumed you would quit. But every setback was setting you up for a comeback that will speak for generations. Your testimony will not be about barely surviving. It will be about stewarding overflow with wisdom and humility. You were never meant to live small. You were meant to carry something that proves God keeps his promises. And this moment, right now, is the shift where preparation meets release. I need you to lean in now, because this part reaches into places you've carried silently for decades. How many years have you walked through life asking God, when is it my turn? How many mornings did you wake up already tired, already discouraged, already bracing yourself for another day of lack? Maybe your body aches in ways no one sees. Maybe your retirement disappeared into hospital bills or broken trust. Maybe the very people you poured your life into walked away when you had nothing left to give. You've prayed prayers that felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down. You've wondered if God forgot your address, your name, your sacrifices. Even the church sometimes made you feel invisible, like your season was over. But hear this clearly, heaven never marked you as finished. Every betrayal you endured was not random. Every loss you suffered was not wasted. Heaven has been watching closely. Joseph was sold by his own brothers and left to rot in prison for years, not because God abandoned him, but because God was positioning him. Job lost everything in a single day, not because he was cursed, but because he was qualified for double restoration. Ruth had no future, no security, no status, yet every faithful step she took was leading her into a bloodline that would birth kings. Fire never destroys gold, it reveals it. Your suffering did not disqualify you. It proved you could endure the weight of what is coming. You want to know why your blessing took so long? Because God wasn't just preparing the blessing, he was preparing the vessel. Time matures wisdom. Pain sharpens discernment. Years teach stewardship. A young person with sudden wealth often wastes it, but someone who has survived decades of lack understands value, responsibility, and purpose. Every wrinkle you carry is wisdom earned. Every scar is proof you survived what was meant to destroy you. You are not too old for God's best. You are finally seasoned enough to be trusted with it. Heaven does not rush destiny, it perfects it. For years, a voice has whispered lies into your spirit. You hear it when you wake up. You missed your chance. If God was going to do it, he would have done it by now. Look at your age. Look at your bank account. Be realistic. That voice is not truth, it is warfare. The enemy has worked overtime to convince you to settle, because he is terrified of what happens if you fully believe again. Sometimes he even used your own family as his mouthpiece. They told you to stop dreaming, to accept less, to act your age, without realizing they were repeating hell's agenda. But no weapon formed against you will prosper. Not the weapon of age, not the weapon of poverty, not the weapon of disappointment. You were never attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you were dangerous. Hell does not invest resources into stopping people with no destiny. Every delay was an attempt to exhaust you. Every rejection was designed to shrink your expectation. Every closed door was meant to convince you it was over. But heaven just flipped the narrative. God is taking every weapon formed against you and turning it into evidence of his faithfulness. The very things meant to disqualify you are now the reasons you are unstoppable. You are not running out of time. You are running into it. Can you feel the shift happening inside you? That heaviness lifting, that quiet strength returning, that sense of readiness you haven't felt in years, that is not imagination, that is alignment. Just like Abraham waited decades for Isaac, your waiting was not delay, it was layering. God was stacking miracle upon miracle, building something so big it could not arrive early. A seed buried deep in the ground looks dead on the surface, but beneath the soil roots are spreading, strength is forming, life is multiplying. Your blessing has been growing in the dark. While you were weeping, it was deepening. While you were doubting, it was developing. This abundance is not coming from the outside. It is awakening from within you. The ideas, the wisdom, the discernment, the connections, the favor, they have been forming quietly over years of obedience and endurance. What God is releasing is not fragile, it is sustainable. Not temporary, but generational. Every bill that mocked you will lose its voice. Every person who underestimated you will witness God's hand on your life. The shift is not approaching. It has already begun. Heaven moved your name from waiting to action. But understand this clearly, because it matters more than anything else. This blessing is not about comfort. It is about responsibility. God is not raising you up to show off wealth, but to demonstrate stewardship. You are not a dam meant to collect resources and stop the flow. You are a river meant to carry life wherever you go. This blessing will heal families, rebuild communities, open doors for others, and rewrite your bloodline. Long after you are gone, generations will benefit from the faith decision you are making right now. This is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where heaven proves that the best was always saved for last.